Good morning and welcome to Atlantic Blowout on Atlantic Television Network. This is a syndicated live program of the network featuring chit-chatting and conversation on special interest topics, news, events, and stories through correspondence reports, expert opinion, and stakeholders analysis. And the headlines for today, the first is from the FCT that NAFDAC seals Chinese supermarkets over expired products. And the presidency that Tinubu approves bulletproof SUVs, medicals for retired generals. FG sets measures to crash prices in 180 days. And in the global epidemic, the FG screens air travelers as HMPV spreads around. Atiku has defended Peter Obi on his criticism on Tinubu. In the Niger Delta, we have that Group 6 relocation of oil companies' headquarters. We're open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials on Facebook and YouTube on Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram and TikTok on Atlantic TV Network 1, on Twitter on Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website at www.atlantic.net.work.tv. We'll go on a quick break to stay with us.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what they want.
I have fought a very family.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Welcome back. And with us here at the studio is no other than Manki Tane Adubabari Esquire. He's a solicitor, advocate of the Notary Public of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. He's also a socio-political analyst and a mentorship coach. He is a regular at the studio. It's a pleasure to have you here with us at the studio, sir. Happy New Year and welcome.
Yeah, thank you so very kindly. And by the audacity of hope, I say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, and thank you for being here again today. National Agency for Food and Drug Administration Control, NAFDAC, has sealed off a Chinese supermarket in Wuse 2, Abuja, over allegations of selling expired products and goods labeled in Chinese without English translations, violating NAFDAC regulations. The supermarket, located at Asba Mall, 2 Durban Street, is owned and managed by Chinese nationals who claimed they were in the process of obtaining NAFDAC licensing and translating product labels into English as required by law. Following the enforcement operation, I'm not sure you were here when we had the conversation about 150 shops that were sealed in Abia State over of substandard and expired goods. Esquire.
You know, we are not in the country where rule of law prevails. I'm very sorry to say, I'm a lawyer, but I can tell you that we're in the jungle here, and it's quite unfortunate. Why I use the word jungle is that in the jungle, you are not sure of anything. An animal could move out of its rest place overnight and may not return. An animal may leave young ones in search of food and may never return. That uncertainty, just like the ocean, if you use the word this nature-wide channel, that's exactly what's happening here. When you hear people like Thomas Hobbes propounding theory about a state where law did not prevail, talking about British shots and all whatnot, that's exactly where we are in Nigeria. You just listen to what they are saying here. And the root of most of these things is a situation wherein incompetence is imposed on merit. That's what we have in Nigeria. How can the officer be hard to be saying this? And he's not telling you that they're going to investigate to find out how the goods came into the country in bulk and all whatnot. It's a shame. You may think that they are interested in the lives of Nigerians. Look, is it not, child, you are bringing in such goods, you must translate them. You know, if you are doing a translation into English language, which is our major distinction here, you will have the expiry date even stated because NAFDAC will be involved. Now, the thing that becomes so bad to the point that an insider who understands Chinese and also English language, I'm sure in Nigeria, who must be anonymous in this circumstance, has now come up to leak to the effect that they are selling expired products. You know, yesterday I went to a supermarket to go and buy something for my daughter. For the first time, I had to recalculate the money. Because 2 days ago, I was in the major supermarket in this town. Where is they should have an idea about this. They are selling expired product. Let me say this to you. Most people don't know the implication of selling or taking expired product. I give a practical example. There's this drug called Fusin, which is, I think, is targeted at skin diseases. If you take an expired Fusin, the experience is better explained than experience. It's a bad one. And so when you are selling expired product, that is to tell you that the Chinese have looked into Nigeria and realized that this is a lawless country where anything can happen. Mark it if there will be any prosecution. That is the challenge. Mark if there will be any prosecution. Nothing will happen. And that is where we are.
So let me cut you short here. I actually want you to continue more on your analysis, Barrister. You said because we are lawless and we accept anything, that's why the Chinese could actually sell expired products here. That means, in essence, they do not sell these products in their country.
You can try it.
Okay.
You see, you cannot. What is not tolerable in their countries, and let me say this to you. Under political economics, poverty and ignorance, they are two effective weapons of war. Now, at the international level, there are things, foreigners are not going to build this country for us. And this is what I say to those who are Japai. By virtue of my position as a notary public or Supreme Court of Nigeria, even yesterday, I was signing documents for those who are going. I was jokingly, I was telling a lady I met at ShopRite, and I told her why I was, notarizing her document. I said, well, those of you who don't have the liver that are Japan, you people should be going. We and them will die here. When we make things okay, people will come back. She laughed. And I'm serious about it. Men and women build countries. You hear of Canada, you hear of Israel, you name them. That's why I get so worried. Nigerian men of God are praying to the God of Israel. Get to Israel. I've been privileged to get to Israel. Check the level of security alertness in Israel. And this is how we call response. What we are seeing is a reaction. It's like what the Nigerian Bar Association president visiting the what do you call it? Defense chief in this country, I think a few days ago, was talking about a lawyer that had been arbitrarily arrested and detained. Is it when a lawyer is a victim that you need to speak up? Are you listening? Now, in this circumstance, before such a product is supposed to come to Nigeria, there has to be, in fact, the translation is so what, if you listen, the Chinese are now dribbling the NAFTA by telling them that they are in the process. Where can you say such nonsense? They are in the process of translating and you are selling, and the sad aspect of it is this, that these products are expired, which means they are poison.
So these products are actually transported into Nigeria through the custom, because they go through process, they go through the borders before they get into the country, isn't it?
Sure.
And there are Nigerians out those borders. Products that are written in Chinese buying these goods. The Nigerians have been patronizing the supermarkets for a very long time before it got to the notice of NAFDAC. Why has nobody spoken about it? Why has nothing been done about it up till now? And some people would have actually been consuming this
by foreign terrorists. That for selfish interests can anticipate what they want to do, and then they will amend the law to suit that their evil selfish purpose. They don't consider, yes, they don't consider the effect on the generality of the people.
Okay.
They don't. Now, what Ekweremadu now did was, when the daughter, the daughter is still alive now, upon all it will send a wrong signal to the wrong persons to continue. That is it. So the moment the law is tampered with, the law is acted. Some people, Nigeria, may have been buying dog food and eating them as, it's possible. So
because you will not know what
you don't know.
It's Chinese.
That is how bad. That is how bad. That is how bad it is. Now that, as it were, has even failed. Sometimes when I listen to a body like EFCC, I pity the person that is put there. Because first of all, you look at the body language of those at the head. That's how you check these things. Check the body language of those at the head. It's like a promiscuous father trying to talk to the children. It's just wasting his time. Because his body language will not support what he is saying with his mouth. That's where the crisis is. Check what the National Assembly is doing. Just check their activities. So,
in essence, Barrister, quickly, you're saying that this Chinese supermarkets, the owners of the supermarkets will not be held accountable.
Because they are going to touch on. Because, see, let me say this to you. Quite interesting. You can't conspire alone. Do you understand?
Okay.
When you talk about the concept of conspiracy in law, in crime, you tell me, please don't tell anybody. Do you understand it? And the moment, always this. If NAFDAC now wants to put his feet on the ground, this thing will move down to custom. Do you understand? How did they come in?
Okay.
And that is how we are where we are today in this country, in this mess that we are in. Because those who are at the custom end will not want to be held. So the best way forward is to stop, to frustrate the process. And when you seek to frustrate the process, you are encouraging the crime. They will come up and say, these are the people who are involved.
Okay.
Who gave the approval? Before you give approval, first of all, you are supposed to confirm that translation, everything has been done. But is that the case? The answer is no. Even if you'll be surprised that there is a documentation that shows that all this translation, all the due process. Do you understand it? Why that diplomatic effort? Why people like Mazin Nandikanu are in prison here despite court orders? This country, look, it's only that, like I told you the other day, I am an incurable optimist. Like me and Dele to me, we will tell this, our majority criminal minded, self-imposed political is enough. See, let me say this. Because this is supposed to be the leader, the light in Africa. But unfortunately, the only problem this country has is disaster of leadership. And it's just few individuals.
We just hope that forces, President Bola Tinubu has approved mouth-watering allowances for officers of general rank who will retire after serving for 35 years. Some of the allowances include the provision of a bulletproof SUV as take-home gifts, fully foreign medical treatment of $20,000 as escadrille while embarking on all medical trip, and payments for cooks and house helps. Starting with the top brass of the military, it provides that the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Naval Staff, the Chief of Air Staff, and other senior officers are entitled to a bulletproof SUV or its equivalent as a retirement package. The vehicle and a backup vehicle are replaced every 4 years and maintained by the armed forces. The generals will also be entitled to a special assistant or personal assistant, 3 military drivers, and a military orderly with escorts provided by individuals' military units. Each retiring service chief is also entitled to 5 domestic staff, comprising 2 cooks, 2 stewards, and a civilian gardener, along with an ADC security officer. However, recalls that the practice of rewarding retired service chiefs and retired generals and equivalents with mouth-watering benefits is not a new thing, as it has been the status quo. This the word mouth-watering was a continuous statement. Well, it's a mouth-watering one for retired generals, but how about retirees that also served the country, civil servants that served the country for years? You know, oftentimes we've discussed here at the studio over some of them have had to go spiritual. They did 7 days fasting for their gratuities to be paid to them. You know, the pensioners, they actually prayed, begged. Oftentimes we see that so many of them die and not get their pensions. The minimum wage in some states has yet to be implemented, you know, and here we have that Tinubu has approved bulletproof SUVs and a lot of all the benefits for retired generals. Well, it could be a mouth-watering one, but we want to get your thoughts about this. What do you have to say concerning the situation, Barrister?
It's a sad one and also a reflection of the realities that we are in. And I'm going to analyze it. Now, I believe in the concept of base superstructure analysis. Now, for anything, you look at the realities that is on the ground. It is against the reality that is on the ground. If Nigeria was right, then you can talk about you are rewarding people. The question is, what is the reality on the ground in Nigeria and amongst Nigerians? To me, this is to buy them over. But look at this. You see that SUV security vehicle is an indictment and a public show that Nigeria is bedeviled with insecurity. Do you understand it?
Quickly, I love to cut you short there where you said they're trying to buy them and then the indictment is in Nigerian security. Please, would you elaborate more on that?
Good. Now, look at it. Why I'm saying, even deep in the heart, you know, the mindset is the key point. Even though you're going for a war, wrestling or whatever, it is your mindset.
Yes.
There are people that they weed them, they have a disease condition. They weed them into the medical ward to be taken to theater. They will have to confer with them. If they tell you they are not comfortable, just weed them back. If you put them into theater, they won't come back. That is the mind. That's why I'm particular about the state of mind. Even most of those, the Nigerian generals that are being retired, deep in their heart, I am sure they are not happy with the state of affairs. particularly Nigerians that are being killed.
You feel they're not happy with the smile threatening gift that's been given to them?
Yes, in the light of reality, this we are under. We are under, and look at it.
Okay.
The medical disease is for foreign.
Yes, it's a foreign.
It's foreign disease, not Nigeria.
No.
And we are talking about economic holocaust. We are talking about that we are depleting our foreign reserve.
No, I wanted to ask you, why do you think they're not happy getting those retired gifts?
They will not be discharged at the bar of their conscience if they have a living conscience.
Okay.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
They will not. There are things you can attempt to do. I have been saying, like in River State here. I've told the governor, the greatest thing you can do is to build human capacity. In the Western world, like Germany today, that's one of the strongest economy in Europe. What make them or put them to that position is skill. I have advocated to the governor, sir, please, there is money in this state. Set up a skill acquisition center of international record that will train both skilled and unskilled labor. What the purpose of that car? You know, I used to, you must have heard of the name Alfred Spieth of River State.
Yes.
Is Alfred Spieth is coming to this studio. I can tell you he's not coming with any security escort. Till now, most people don't know. When you see people and they tell you that's Alfred Spieth, you see excitement in the mind of young people. They just want to see him. Some people want to grab him. Are you the one? Look at Carter just died. I was telling you a story about one of my friends who is based in the US. And he visited one of the states. And then he has to use the convenience. And then as he was coming out, somebody just asked him, do you know that fellow that you passed? He said, no. He said, that's the mayor. you notice now that most of the oil companies are gone offshore.
Yes.
They are selling, there's no control. They are selling our crude and making billions unaccounted for. I can tell you that. You heard of the indictment on NNPC. That one they were talking about 2020 or 2021. Yesterday. I have said it that NNPCL is the global fraud, the one happening in the West. Do you understand? Wherein we realize that they've gone to court, the judgment they can't enforce, and they were so helpless they were not going on protest. And I also talked to the point of saying that it doesn't require rocket science, that they can calculate how much is the pension and they can issue you the check upon retirement. I gave some solution to this thing, and I told our young people who are in position now that you are bringing calls upon yourself if you are doing this to your elders. What is wrong with us? What is the problem? Now, instead of tackling the insecurity in this country, what do you expect?
Let's not deviate out of the area of concentration. You made mention about the indictment that the presidency is actually bringing into it's more like suppressing their conscience not to speak up by giving them this mouth-watering gifts.
In the light of current economy, I said the National Assembly, you know, we are talking about the top hierarchy of the security outfits in the country. You were talking about Army, Air Force, and Navy.
Yes.
Now, Oshomole, as a senator, this money for saying buy AK-47, modern one, buy bomb equipment for the purpose of fighting
dignitaries of enjoying things like this, and then the other ones would just be and then suffer for themselves. You know, imagine the understates incident that we discussed the other time, that they literally had to, it was an incident that's been going on for like.
Let me handle it from the angle of this mouth-watering this thing.
Okay.
The mouth-watering this thing, in the light of economic realities, is not justifiable. But why is the president forced to do it? He is kind of, in my own calculation, forced to do it because these people who occupy this position are in the place.
Okay.
Do you understand it? Number one. Now, look at, they know the state of our medical facilities. And you are giving them, that is an indictment on the government. That is a vote of no confidence on the medical district and on the governing office. But you know, this is the highest breathing technical departments. But here, it is a different kettle of fish. So it's so funny. So funny. Now, the whole army, their job now is to pursue crude oil. And they are killing Nigerians.
The right thing should just be done. This resources that's been put into this needs, like the mouth-watering scenario that was mentioned is not a bad one, but these funds are supposed to
if they use this thing to buy the equipment and chase out the foreign terrorists, these people can even enter into public vehicles and travel without any sense of insecurity.
Thank you very much.
You understand it?
Barrister.
Yes.
Well, we have to move forward. Federal government, through the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, has announced immediate measures to address the high cost of food in the country. Tariffs and taxes for the importation of certain food commodities through land and sea borders. The targeted commodities include maize, Hawks brown rice, wheat and cowpeas. Our administration has unveiled a series of strategic measures aimed at addressing the high food prices currently affecting our nation. These measures will be implemented over the next 180 days, Gary said. To achieve its objective, the minister said that the imported food commodities will be subjected to a recommended retail price. The federal government will import 250,000 metric tons of wheat and 250,000 metric tons of maize. These semi-processed commodities will be supplied to small-scale processors and millers across the country. Engagements with relevant stakeholders to set up a GMP and purchase surplus food commodities to restock the National Strategic Foods Reserve, ramp up production for the 2024-2025 farming cycle, continued with support to smallholders farmers during the ongoing wheat season, farming through nationwide, embarking on aggressive agricultural mechanization to reduce drudgery, lower production costs, and boost productivity. These are the measures they have been put in place to actually achieve to boost food security in the country. Well, I would love to ask you, Barrister Mankey, what is your thoughts about this, achieving this in 180 days? Do you think it's something that can be done? Because you just talked about the hardship of the don't get to eat in a day. Some don't see it we don't want to go into emotional parts, but we hope that this measures are being put in place by the federal government to quickly, in a sense, you're saying that this is not actually a measure to bring down food prices. It's not a measure to aid the hardship that
did you hear the government
going on in the country.
The government is saying that they are going to import. Are you listening?
Yes.
They are going to import. They are going to do import waiver for 180 days.
Yes.
Nigeria has the capacity to feed the rest of Africa. The analyses are there. I won't be as good as Peter Obi.
I'm not saying that it's actually a good one to import foods into the country. But in this instance where we have seen that this issue of insecurity has affected the food procession and everything in the country, you know, yeah, you would say, you talked about the roots, going from the roots. If you want to look at something, you go from the roots.
It's going to be imported. It's going to be imported.
Maize, brown rice.
What brand of maize? Is it organic maize? Or these, what do you call it? Genetic modified food. You know, some time ago, the foreigners were trying to impose that. And Nigerians in the agri sector were rejecting those, what do you call them? Seeds. Do you understand? Because they realized that once you plant those seeds in our soil, it will reconfigure the what do you call it? The texture of the sand and make the sand unproductive. Most of these genetically modified seeds, they have such capacity. And there was this counter campaign by Nigerians who are into agriculture that they should be wary. These are the things that if the government has the people that hurt, they should have been concerned about. That is plaguing Nigerians. About it's not something that takes a whole year to mature. Do you understand it? The land is there, but the land has been taken over by foreign terrorists under the guise of herdsmen, and the government knows about it. So to me, this is just an attention diversion tactics, and it is not good for us. The petroleum industry, they will tell you in fairness that our government is not being fair to us. that if they are sincere to us, Bola Tinubu knows that Nigeria has what it takes to refine this crude oil and then subsidize transportation. Okay. Do you understand it?
So
the moment that happens,
tackle insecurity, improve agriculture, and then reduce
petroleum, right? Where we have what it takes to produce, we have enough land to produce. Why don't you allow that to happen? Why don't you allow this now? They are just looking for a way to waste. They are not going to tell you, just like NNPCL. They will not tell you that this is.
Welcome back. Former Nigerian Vice President Atiku Abubakar has unequivocally thrown his weight behind Peter Obi following the latter's allegation of receiving threats for criticizing President Bola Tinubu's administration. This dramatic turn of events started on Monday Tinubu's administration, sparking a firestorm of controversy. The genesis of this controversy can be traced back to an interview granted by Moka, during which he launched a verbal assault on Obi, labeling him an irrational being. Moka added that Peter Obi has crossed the line so many times and has it coming to him whatever he gets. The APC spokesperson also included the claim that Obi's assessment of the current administration was ridiculous and deceptive, while also disparaging his legacy as governor of Anambra State. In a response issued on Tuesday, Atiku Abubakar condemned Moka's statement as inflammatory and disturbing. The former VP added that the APC and the Bola Ahmed Tinubu government must issue a formal apology to Obi. Atiku also cautioned against any attempts to stifle opposition, underscoring the essential role of constructive criticism in a democratic society. Reacting in a tweet shared on Monday afternoon, Obi maintained that his words are within the ambit of the law. He wrote, "Have I really crossed the line? I ask the question because my New Year message has now led to threats against my life, my family, and those around me. While I have received all sorts of messages, one Mr. Felix Moka has gone further to accuse me of crossing the line and has warned that I will face the consequences. I find it necessary to share this message again and urge everyone who has not seen it to watch it." Quickly, first I would want to make a statement. We have freedom of speech in this country, you know, in as much respectful words in the country, no matter whoever is making the statement. Everyone have the freedom of speech to say anything they want to say, you know, and I'm not siding anybody, you know, but Peter Obi actually made a New Year's message criticizing the Tinubu-led administration, saying, calling out situations that has been going on since the president assumed office in May 29, 2023, and stating measures that can be taken to, you know, absorb most of those problems. Moka, in an interview, came and said that and Obi has crossed the line for making such statements to President Ahmed Tinubu. But Atiku Abubakar, the vice president, came up to defend Peter Obi, saying that Peter Obi actually has a freedom of speech, just like I stated, and then and he did not do anything wrong, and then APC and Tinubu needs to apologize to Obi. Well, the question here is, this political controversy, political rivalry, in essence, if there's a word like that to use, is this supposed to be the essence of governance in this country? Is this what we actually want to see? You know, seeing our leaders, people we look up to, coming on air, on social media, on networks, platforms to you know, pour our grievances that are not, we're not saying they're not necessary, but this is not what we want to see right here. You know, if a statement was made disregarding a particular personality, that is when you see, okay, you say certain things online, you know, and put the person in a position you want to say, or saying the person is suffering for his consequences. But I don't think words that were used against Peter Obi were actually the right. I'm not gonna side anybody, but do you think Peter Obi made the right statements by criticizing Tinubu administration? Do you think Tinubu has not done anything right since he assumed office? Do you think Moka made the right statements? Because at its stance, threat has been made to Obi's life for saying things he said against the president. Although you are not supposed to use hate speech against the president, if he had actually used a hate speech, yes, then maybe he's suffering for his consequences. But what consequences it might be, we do not know. But I want to get your thoughts on this. What do you have to say about this instance?
Well, what I want to say very clearly, it's very unfortunate and sad. A lot of things are going wrong here. I will say that straight. A lot of things are going wrong. We joke big time. We joke too much in this part of the world. And I think, you know, when law fails, one of the reasons how you will know that the law has failed is when people are not held accountable. People are not held accountable. People under a disguise take advantage of the law and do complete opposite. Let me give you a very fair and square position. Let's look at the economy of Nigeria. Number one, the purpose of government is to protect lives and properties of the people, because by section 14 of the Constitution, power belongs to the people. We cannot all be in government house.
Yes.
So we give power to the government that is in place to lead us aright. Now, the present economic holocaust in Nigeria now is clearly avoidable. I challenge anybody. Every Nigerian know that what is going on is wrong. That Nigeria has what it takes to be economically stable and running, to the jealousy of majority of African countries and the rest of the world. But Bola Tinubu, I'm saying it here, quote me anywhere, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is behind the present economic holocaust in Nigeria.
Are you saying he has not put measures? Because I asked you the question.
No.
Do you think Peter Obi made the wrong statement
No.
by criticizing the president?
It's not even criticizing the government. He gave the see, when you, first of all, when you talk about criticism, right? You can talk about a thing and then shielding the solution to yourself, as if to say, if I'm not there, I will not reveal the solution. Do you understand?
Okay.
Such will look at it that it is a selfish, you are looking at it from a selfish position.
Okay.
But a situation wherein you see a problem, right? There is, you know, like yesterday I was traveling on Aba Road. I realized that criminals have removed the manholes on the bridges up, and you know the consequences.
Yes, at night especially.
Yes, those who have not used that thing in the daytime, you need to put an alert and tell the relevant authority or department to go and check on that bridge.
But in this instance, it's not a federal government cost.
No, I'm just giving you an example.
Situation.
I'm giving you an example.
Okay.
Now, Peter Obi outlined solution. These are testable solutions. Like I'm talking about petroleum now.
Okay.
Give crude oil. Even Dangote, you are supposed to give him crude oil at a subsidized rate. You are supposed to give crude oil to modular refiners who are building refineries as a subsidized rate. You are supposed to harness the youth of the oil and gas producing areas and set up modular refineries for them instead of killing them. I'm telling you realities that are happening.
Okay.
Meanwhile, youth of other areas are alive and intact. They are mining the resources in their area without let or hinder, without account whatsoever, howsoever. This wickedness has to stop. And Bola Tinubu, as an individual and petroleum minister, to my mind, knows all this, is knowledgeable enough, and he knows this truth, but has refused to do the right thing. We are talking about insecurity in Nigeria, wherein our farmers are being killed, wherein indigenous population are being killed, that are leading to this food insecurity. And somebody tells you, you have to empower the army to tackle this insecurity. Strengthen the army. Let them prevent further incursion that are moving in by these foreign terrorists. Or chase those who are on ground out of this country. I can tell you that the Nigerian military has what it takes to chase these people out of this country under 1 month. If the president gives the body language. Do you understand me?
Okay.
What is happening in this country is intolerable. That Nigerians will be living at the mercy of foreign terrorists, and we claim we have a government. Look, Tofel is Moka.
I wanted to ask you
Yes.
about the article siding
No,
in this instance.
no, let me-
Is it that there's now a merge going on right here?
No, let me say this to you. I pointed to you last time. I asked you, do you know that Omotekun does not have any legal basis? Do you understand it?
Okay.
What propelled the establishment of Omotekun is self-preservation, which is the first rule of life. If there is anything that threatens our security here, right in this studio, you'll be shocked at what you will do to escape. Do you understand? Okay. Or to forestall that incursion that will threaten our life. You will be shocked. It doesn't matter that you are a female. You will be shocked at what you will do. It will tell you that life inside of you yearn to exist and not to be extinguished. When the time comes, he will listen.
But oftentimes people use the social media for hate speech.
No.
That's not actually what we're referring to right here.
You can pick the signal or the direction. I say this to people, like that time that the army chief died, right? You can read the pulse, the feeling of Nigerians.
Okay.
And I warn our leaders that, look, if you are taking it for a ride, know it that the mind of Nigerians are migrated from you people. Nigerians are not happy. Do you understand it? You can feel it. If something goes wrong around you, you can feel the pulse of your neighbors, no matter what, except you are not sensitive enough, or except if you have not developed yourself to the point that you can pick signals within your environment. If not, you will know that Nigerians are not happy. This is not what, and the sad aspect is this. Bola Tinubu did not promise me and other Nigerians leadership. He said, Eminoko, that it is his turn, that whether we voted him or not, that he will be president. And I have cast the blame on the corridor of the judiciary, particularly the justices of the Supreme Court, who validated and overturned whatever that brought Tinubu. Now, Tinubu, you are here as the president, whether by hook or by crook. Do what you are supposed to do. You are not ready to do it.
And I asked you the question before, Barrister. Do
Yes.
you think the president quickly has not done anything since he assumed office?
In what sense? See, motion is not progress. Right?
Okay.
Motion is not progress. All the economic